Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip board meeting. Tonight, special night, I want to thank everyone both on the dais, and we have a camera on us up here, folks, not you, it faces up here, so if you ever want to go back and look at this meeting again, you can get this on YouTube through our village website. But I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight for our student government night tonight. Before we get started, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please, first off, we got to call a roll call. Let's make sure everybody's here. Clerk, can you take the roll, please?
Trustee Dalzell.
Here.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza. Trustee McLaughlin.
Here.
Trustee Murphy.
Here.
Trustee Nava Esparza.
Here.
Trustee Peretta.
Here.
Mayor Ryan.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we get started, I'd like to all the designated trustees and clerks and mayor certainly, and designate for the engineer this evening as well too. Everybody can introduce themselves real quick. Can you start over here, please? Introduce yourself, what school you go to.
My name's Ella, and I go to Shepherd.
My name's Amelia, and I also go to Shepherd.
My name's Elizabeth, and I also go to Shepherd.
My name's Anne, and I go to Richards.
My name's Sophia, and I go to Shepherd.
My name's Paola, and I go to Richards.
My name's Macy, and I go to Shepherd.
My name is Wiley, and I go to Richards.
My name is Amelia, and I'm from Richards.
And my name's Nora. I go to Richards.
Thank you very much for being with us this evening. Before we start our reports, I had one of mine just to speak to the board to. Please know that PFM Asset Management is doing a great job managing our OPEB trust. What that is, OPEB means your other post-employment benefits. When I came in office, we had, this is actually your benefits that relate to like retirement for all your retired employees. There was over 130 million of debt when we started this back in 2017. We made an initial investment back in November of 22 of $25 million. And as of the report I got today, 5 quarters later, that investment has matured to almost $30 million, which is great. So we're seeing over a $5 million return on investment. That's wonderful. And right now I'm working on the fiscal year 24 year-end budgets, and we'll be discussing that at our next committee meeting on the 29th and too. So we'll start the meeting with the mayor's reports. We'll start with Sophia speaking to the mayor's report. Pardon me?
You didn't say a time.
Oh, I'm sorry. When we, I'm not used to it. I'm standing here. Usually I'm sitting at my desk and I got my notes in front of me. This meeting, we started the meeting at 7:35 p.m. Thank you.
Mayor, to introduce this evening's student government participants. Mayor Ryan is attending Lobby Day in Springfield on April 16th and 17th. The mayor will attend committee meetings to the Capitol on the 16th and will participate in presentations all morning on the 17th from the Illinois Municipal League. House Speaker Chris Welch, John Kieran, and Senate President John Harmon. Mayor Ryan will meet with legislators representing Alsip in the afternoon, including Representatives Mayor Grill and Justice Slaughter. Also, Senator Bills Cunningham and Emil Jones III. The legislative ask this year will be imposing the opposed governor's request to eliminate the grocery tax for all Illinois municipals as a massive revenue reduction that will negatively impact all cities and villages. The village of Alsip stands to lose $670,000 annually, while Oak Lawn loses $2.2 million, Orland Park $2.4 million, and the city of Chicago between $60 to $80 million. Restoration of the local government distributive funds after the state took almost half of what Alsip used to recover from the state and has left Alsip short of revenues by almost $240,000 annually of state income tax collections. State Rep. The Luca Democrat from Chicago Heights is requesting support of a bill that will incrementally restore LGDF to 10% by 2031, asking legislators to oppose Senate Bill 3680 and House Bill 5432, and any other efforts to undermine existing home rule authority to adopt crime-free housing or ordinance as these bills are being considered that will diminish the safety and protection of residents. Because crime-free housing and ordinance are crime prevention tools that partners police, local government, and make landlords and tenants within a community to foster safer neighborhoods and can be adopted by home rule municipals. Mayor Ryan's office to recognize and comment on Alsip Police annual report recently submitted for calendar year 2023. Now to Mayor John Ryan offers his wishes to recognize and congratulate Police Chief Jay Miller, Deputy Chief John Shaw, and the Commander's staff for hosting recognition dinner in March for the entire police department, where everyone wore their dress blue and brought their families to support many of the recipients for life-saving heroism, as well as MVP, Most Valuable Partner, and Officer of the Year. The mayor addresses the attendees and certainly thanked everyone for their service on behalf of the administration and village board. The mayor also wishes to commend the entire Alsip Police Department after reviewing the 2023 annual report submitted on February 28, 2024. Highlights of the report are the following. The police command staff applied for and received $267,000 in grant funding from the Illinois Attorney General's office to purchase USIS software surveillance cameras, as well as 10 LPR's license plate readers. The village of Alsip also supplied funding to implement 9 LPRs as well throughout the community. The department handled 34,494 calls for service. That's an increase of 2,400 calls from the previous year. The officers have been very busy and made over 8,200 traffic stops, issued 3,925 state citations, and 3,605 warning tickets. This department saved 7 people's lives that had overdosed, while the police saw a reduction in crisis intervention calls. There were still 188 calls for service. While the police responded to 34,494 calls of service, it's very notable that only 15 times was there a need to use force at any of these incidents, as followed. 1 impactless lethal electrical device, 0 chemical, 13 weaponless control, pressure holds or takedowns, 1 weapon, taser displayed but not used, and most importantly, 0 death forces. The mayor of the village board members, thank you for doing your jobs well and keeping this community safe. Lastly, an essential person that is responsible for the success of understanding all the new technology being purchased and implemented by the village that makes us better police, fire, public works, and clerk administrators in the village. In the village information technology managers, Bryan, Missouri, as it's always the infrastructure that goes somewhat unnoticed, but is responsible for everyone's behalf. Thank you, IT department. Well done. Now to the clerk.
I have approval of the April 1st, 2024 board meeting minutes, approval of the March 2024 FOIA report, presentation and approval of the March 2024 IDOT motor fuel tax allotment in the amount of $62,297,000 with 53 cents, presentation and approval of the April 8th, 2024 committee meeting minutes. That is all I have, Mayor.
Next to the attorney.
The village attorney is handling numerous ongoing legal matters for the village.
The engineer.
For 116th Place, 117th Street water main replacement, Julius DeColin, pre-construction meeting was recently held. Contractor Aries had stated that they are now looking to start construction the end of May, early June, once school is out for the year. Hazel Green and Prairie Junior High Safe Routes to School Sidewalk Project. The project is scheduled for the April 26th IDOT letting. Construction should start 1 to 1.5 months, therefore, depending on contractor schedule. Costner Avenue resurfacing, 123rd to 127th. Contractor IPC JJ Newell has completed the concrete work on the east side of Costner and has moved to the west side this week. They are coordinating with the property owners to limit closures and maintain access to driveways as much as possible. Alsip water service line material inventory. The lead service inventory was submitted to the IEPA today. No lead services were found.
Thank you. And now to any public concerns or questions.
So this is a public forum. Did anyone wish to address the board tonight? Nobody? Okay. Go ahead. You move on to your next one.
Standing committees, finance and informational technology.
I have the approval of a list of payroll dated April 5th, 2024, totaling $483,864.77. And I also have the approval of a list of accountants payable dated April 15th, 2024. Reading from the recap, General Fund, $301,528.41. Road and Bridge, $12,954.80. Storm Sewers, $706.90. MFT, $2,445.15. 2015-2017 bond payments, $450. 2015-2017 bond payments, $450. Liability, workers' comp insurance, $53,663. Health insurance, $313,172.70. Water and sewer, $17,898.94. Sanitary sewers, $2,627.09. Heritage 1 and 2, $96,611.16. Retiree health insurance, $851.02, with all the total funds coming to $803,359.17.
Thank you. And next to fire.
I have the approval of holiday pay in the amount of $41,194.20 as per the collective bargaining contract. Next, I have the approval to pay the first half of the shift commander / assistant shift commander in the amount of $4,125 as per the collective bargaining contract. I also have the approval to pay the annual incentive pay in the amount of $29,837 as per the collective bargaining contract. I also have the presentation and approval of the March 2024 Fire Prevention Bureau report. And finally, I have the presentation and approval of the monthly report for the March 2024 based on our National Fire Incident Reporting System.
Thank you. And police and traffic safety.
Excuse me one second. Chief, I'm sorry. I was swamped all day today. I saw your note from the weekend. Is everything okay at GC America? We have a fire there over the weekend? Or?
Yeah, it involved 3 solar panels, so this is our first experience with solar panels. Very interesting fire. It was very short-lived. It wasn't nothing extensive, but we have a meeting tomorrow to talk with them, and we're going to have some other requirements for them. I knew they installed solar panels on the roof. I didn't realize it involved about 99% of the roof. The entire roof is pretty much covered with solar panels, so luckily it was kind of a low-scale incident. It could have been a whole lot worse. Passerby actually called it by, so the people that working didn't even know they had a fire on the roof.
And was this all contained to the solar panel, too?
Yeah, it completely destroyed 3 solar panels and a portion of the roof.
Yeah. Everybody's okay?
Yeah, we actually got to use our new PV stop extinguishers, so it did what it was supposed to do also.
Great. Yeah, I'm sorry, Chief. I was going to call you today. I was swamped. My day got away.
No problem, Mayor. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Police and traffic safety.
I have the approval to purchase 7 Motorola radios from Motorola at a cost not to exceed $50,000. These items were budgeted for as part of our rotation program. The current radios are over 9 years old. Next, I have the Fuchsias update. As you know, the village signed a 3-year contract with Fuchsias in July of last year. The Fuchsias program is designed to enhance the capabilities of a police response during an emergency by giving law enforcement real-time access to cameras on the premises. Our business community and schools have really embraced this program. To date, there are 583 cameras integrated into the system. We have several additional partners that will be joining our program and several more that we are meeting with that are in the information gathering phase of the program. Another part of Fuchsia's is the camera registry program. This program does not allow law enforcement to access to the camera, but merely informs police that property owners has a camera at the location and provides law enforcement contact information for the property owner so that they can request video footage. To date, 580 property owners have registered their cameras. The Fuchsia's program has been instrumental in helping to solve several crimes throughout the village that otherwise may have gone unsolved. If you have not yet registered your camera, you can do so at connectalsip.org. Registration takes less than 1 minute.
Thank you. And Public Works and Boat Launch.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I have the approval of the March 2024 Public Works Monthly Activity Report. Next, I have a Catholic League Conference High School Fishing Tournament that is taking place on April 24th, 2024. And the director of the tournament is requesting the village waive the $10 boat launch fee for all of the high school students that participate in this contest because it's a school-sanctioned event. Lastly, I have a request for a consensus to waive the boat launch fees for high school students participating in the fishing tournament on April 24th, 2024 only.
Sophia, you're going to ask the clerk, could you please poll the board and for consensus to approve waiving the boat launch fee? So you ask the clerk, Madam Clerk, can you call the roll and ask for consensus?
Mayor, I had a question regarding one of the items. What's the total number of students that are asking for the waiver of the fee?
$10.
Commissioner Freder, Superintendent Freder, we don't know how many people are going to attend this yet, right?
No, it won't be. So the launch fee is for the number of boats that actually go out. That I don't have an exact number of. So not each student would have paid $10. It would just be however many boats there are that they have, and that I don't know yet. So I can't imagine it's a lot. Okay. I think it's probably just a handful of boats. So
per boat. And has this been done before?
No.
So what we're doing, Mary Jimenez, what we're doing here is we're asking the clerk if she would poll the board to ask for a consensus if the board would approve waiving the $10 boat fee, launch fee for this particular student tournament and only this particular tournament.
Roll call number 1 for consensus. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza.
Yes.
Oh, as absent, sorry. Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Nava Esparza.
Yes.
Trustee Peretta.
Yes.
You have your consensus.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Sewer and Water.
Thank you. Item 1, presentation and approval of the February 2024 Water Department Monthly Activity Report. Item 2, presentation and approval of the March 2024 Water Department Monthly Activity Report. That's all.
Thank you. And next, Building and Health.
Thank you. I have a request for an approval of the March 2024 Monthly Health Department Report. There were 27 complaints, no inspections, 20 citations, and 1 call-out. I also have a request for an approval of the March 2024 Building Monthly Activity Report. For the month of March, there were 87 permits issued. The amount collected, including inspector fees, was $45,076. The estimated cost of construction is valued at $3,083,637. For the same period last year, there were 77 permits issued. With 87 permits issued in March of this year, that's an approximate 13% increase from last year. Previous year to date, from May 1st, 2022 to March 31st, 2023, there were 955 permits issued. Current year to date, from May 1st, 2023 to March 31st, 2024, there were 1,034 permits issued. That's an approximate increase of 9%. That concludes my monthly activity report, Mayor.
Thank you. And Human Resources and
I also have the presentation of a letter of recognition from John Kowalski to Roger Early. The letter reads, "Good morning, Roger. I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you for your time and patience during this recent permit process at 5336 West 124th Street in Alsip. I know it got a little chaotic surrounding the sprinkler permit process, and that was because it was my first time having to coordinate between a contractor and a third-party consultant. The execution on my end was not to help my standard, but I do appreciate you and your team's patience, especially Megan Sarabia. She was such a huge help getting everything coordinated and keeping me posted on what I needed to do. Again, I appreciate everything you and your team did for us during this project. Thanks again, John." That concludes my standing committee report.
Thank you. And next, Human Resources and Insurance.
Thank you, Merritt. First, the Village of Alsip is now accepting applications for summer helpers. Various positions are available. This is a great opportunity for high school and/or college students who are looking for a steady summer work while getting exposed to the many career paths available at the village. Next, I have the Village of Alsip would like to also acknowledge the hiring of our new staff accountant, Kelsey Fitzpatrick. Kelsey is anticipated to join the finance team on April 22nd. Finally, the village was awarded a grant valued at $24,626 to purchase safety equipment. Human Resources Manager Tony Fasano has a list of eligible equipment for the departments to consider for purchase.
Thank you. And now our special committee reports. Economic Development.
Thank you, Mayor. The Village of Alsip Bicycle and Pedestrian Plan Team is pleased to announce upcoming public engagement activities. The project team will facilitate walking tours on June 4th and June 22nd, in addition to a bicycle tour on June 15th. These events are open to the general public. Detailed information regarding the starting times and specific locations will be made available soon. Visit alsipbikeplan.com for further details and to submit any comments or suggestions. That's all.
Thank you. And next, Village Properties.
I have the approval to expense no more than $20,000 to furnish and install security lighting at the village-owned Little League field at 1170 Carlo, with 3 quotes to be submitted, and then presenting an approval of the March 2024 Heritage Apartments monthly activity report. Reading from the recap, the Heritage 1, vacancies available for rent is 4. The unit remodeled in process is 1. The total vacants are 5. The leases renewed is 16. New tenants is 2. Remodels completed is 2. And then from Heritage 2, vacancies available for rent is 5. Units remodeled in process is 2. Totals vacants is 7. Leases renewed is 25. Remodels completed is 5. And then the major projects in process right now are window wells and window replacements.
So I just want to jump in real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you understand, the Village of Alsip owns 2 55 and older apartment complexes. That's what she's speaking to. So these are at 123rd and 119th in like Hamlin. So there's like 30 buildings, 512 apartments overall. So we have staff there that maintains those buildings, and what trustee was just speaking to was that as somebody moves out of an apartment, we recondition those so they look brand new, and they're still priced well because we want to keep those occupied as often as possible. But she was talking about how often, what units are available, and the fact that a lot of these are under construction right now yet too. We've only got maybe, Trustee, would you say you only had maybe 5 empty ones?
Yeah, for Heritage 2, we have 5 available for rent, and then for Heritage 1, we have 4 available for rent.
There you go. So you got 9 empties out of 512 apartments. That's great. And like I said, those are being reconditioned for new tenants coming in yet too. So thank you.
Mayor, I have a comment as well.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I had to reach over you. In regards to the first item, with the proposed security lighting at the Little League fields. If I recall correctly, at the last meeting we had, there wasn't really a consensus as to the type of lighting and so forth. So I'm trying to understand also the dollar amount that is being proposed, and we still have quotes to be submitted yet. So I'm not sure if the board had any other comments in regards to that, or if there was a consensus, and I wasn't made aware.
Right. No, what we were doing was, we don't meet again for another couple of weeks, and I was just trying to stay on task with this. The request was not to spend more than $20,000. We did receive one quote from a contractor who does work for us now, but that doesn't mean we're going to use his quote. Before we select anybody, I'll share that with the committee and the board to show who maybe had the best price and what type of equipment to use. Trustee Prada had made some suggestions on lighting. And so everybody understands, the Little League fields at 117th and Karlov are actually owned by the Village of Alsip. And just this year, we repaired the bathrooms, we took care of some landscaping problems. And lastly, I wanted to just get a couple of security lights, one facing north, one facing south, to light up part of that property because it is a dark area. So that would certainly be up to the board at this point to agree or not to expend no more than $20,000 to furnish and install the security lighting, but we're not doing anything until we get 3 quotes. And my building commissioner, he's on vacation for 2 weeks, so I just want to stay on task with that. We're not purchasing anything until I get 3 quotes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have ordinance and legislation.
I have no agenda this evening, Mayor.
Thank you. And planning and zoning and licenses.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I have the approval of a list of licenses in review dated March 25th, 2024 through April 5th, 2024. That is all.
Thank you. Next, we have presentations, petitions, and communications. The Alsip Little League Association will host their opening day parade and celebration on April 20th, 2024, starting at 9 a.m. from Prairie Junior High School. May 10th, 11th, and 12th, the Village of Alsip is promoting a village-wide garage sale where no permits are required from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. May 10th and 11th, the Village is hosting its annual flower sale at the Village Hall. May 11th, the Village of Alsip is asking for volunteers to participate in the annual cleaning up day from 9 a.m. to noon. Village Properties, the HRE Spring Newsletter, and the Building and Health information on flood control. Removal of items from constant agenda is none, and motion to establish constant agenda is none.
Mayor, before we get to that, we'll go back. Village Properties, did you have anything more to say, Trustee, on HRE, the newsletter, or no?
Yes. Part of the newsletter is just taking care of buildings and like what to put down drains. Then we also would like a reminder that at the Heritage 2 Clubhouse every Wednesday there's bingo at 1 p.m. and everybody's welcome. And then, I lost it. Oh, there's a safety meeting at the Heritage 2 Clubhouse on May 1st at 12:30 p.m. Oh, it's hosted by the Alsip Police Department.
Thank you. And Building and Health.
Yes, I have an announcement I would like to share. April showers bring May flowers. This is the time of year when heavy downpours can potentially flood our sewer systems. What can we do to help prevent flooding and protect water quality? One way is rain barrels. Rain barrels are an excellent way to keep water out of the sewer system and save it for reuse. You can use rain barrel water to wash your car, water your lawn and garden, clean your boots, tools, and bikes. Rain barrel water is naturally free of chlorine, lime, and calcium, and some gardeners swear their plants prefer it. Discounted rain barrels are available to Cook County residents through the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago while supplies last. Rain barrels are only $21.50 each and $10.75 each for seniors age 65 and over. Delivery is included. There is a limit of 2 rain barrels per household, but they also come in several different colors as well. For more information, please visit mwrd.org/community-action/rain barrels. That is all I have.
Thank you. And is there any motion to remove items from the consent agenda?
Motion to remove item K.
Any others?
Any others?
I second that motion.
Okay, so, can I get a motion to establish the consent agenda?
Can I get a motion to establish the consent agenda?
Yes, I will be taking roll call number 2. Oh,
Somebody has to make the motion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
She's going to call the roll.
roll call number 2 to establish consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell,
Yes.
Trustee McLawhorn,
Yes.
Trustee Murphy,
Yes.
Trustee Nava Esparza,
Yes.
Trustee Peretta. Yes. You have.
Just one.
Motion carries to establish consent agenda.
Excuse me, you missed one.
Oh, Juarez Mendoza is absent.
Oh, Juarez Mendoza
Oh,
is
well, I guess you
absent.
could take, well, does she get a vote if she's not here?
Sure. It's just to approve a consent agenda.
Okay. You can call on Juarez Mendoza.
Right. It's not an actual vote.
Okay. Just say trustee Juarez Mendoza.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza.
Yes.
Thank you. Now can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
This next one, call on Juarez Mendoza and let her say something.
I make that motion.
I second that motion.
Who made the motion?
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now you can do roll call number 3 to
Roll call number 3 to approve the consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell,
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza,
Yes.
Trustee McLawhorn,
Yes.
Trustee Murphy,
Yes.
Trustee Nava Esparza,
Yes.
Trustee Peretta. Yes. Motion carries to approve consent agenda.
Thank you. Now we'll go back to consent agenda K, approval to expense no more than $20,000 to furnish and install security lighting at the village-owned Little League fields on 117th40 South Cove, with 3 quotes to be submitted.
So before we take any questions, the way this stands on your consent agenda, and Trustee Juarez Mendoza, because she's not here, this is an actual vote, so I can't include you on this yet, too, because this will be a vote taken to approve an expense. Trustee Navas Barza had pulled it, but do I have a motion and a second to approve this the way it stands?
Yes.
Is there a second? No second to that motion. So we'll go back to Trustee Navas Barza. You had pulled this. Did you have a question on letter K?
Mayor, I just think there's just more discussion that needs to be had, and especially since Roger's not here, to also have his input as well.
Any other questions?
Mayor, I got a list of calls for service from the police department
Okay.
from 2018 forward, and for the 6 completed years plus partial year of 2024, there's a total of 22 incidents that could have a type arising from that location. The vast majority aren't. It just seems to me that for 3.6 incidents per year, and what was presented, I don't think would sit there and resolve any of the issues that were addressed. So I'd like to have further discussions about it, but I also would rather, as a security initiative, to have those things done not in a public view.
That's fine. Obviously, we were talking about an expense. The trustee makes a great point. As far as how we want to secure a property that the village owns, is not really for public to know about. It's our concern. We may use cameras. We may use lighting. As it stands, my position was we don't have more lighting out there, but I'm up to the conversation to take place more so then, too. So I was really just talking about an expense at this point, but this is not, let's put it this way, the village has owned this property since like the forever, let's put it that way. And we allow the Little Leagues to use it for basically $1 a year kind of thing, you know. So this is really just a courtesy to the community, and at this time, because it hasn't been done in decades, doesn't mean it has to be done tomorrow. So I have no problem if it's, Trustee Nava Esparza, you pulled it. Is there a motion to do anything with this at this time? Does anybody want to just table this, or does anybody want to make a motion to table?
Motion to table.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay. Madam Clerk, if you call the roll to table that item K, and for further discussion at a committee meeting.
Roll call number 4 to table item K. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza.
Yes.
Trustee McClawhorn.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Nava Esparza.
Yes.
Trustee Peretta.
Yes.
Motion carries to table item K.
So again, what table means, again, folks, the students, we're going to have this discussion at a later date, and all the trustees and myself, we can all bring our data to the table and decide if this is what we want to do as far as property improvements at that particular location. And there might be alternative ideas, that, as Trustee Dalzell said, that we can look at too, as opposed to just lighting. We may do more. Ms. Mayor, you can ask if anyone has any unfinished or new business they want to discuss.
Is there any unfinished business or new business anyone would like to bring to the table?
None? I tell you, before we break up, before we adjourn, again, I want to thank everybody that sat up here on the dais tonight. Thank you for volunteering to do that. Thanks, Ms. Kelly, for bringing in your students. I want to thank the students from Richards as well for coming in tonight. You know, we work, you know, again, we work for you. We work for the public. So we invite you to come into rooms like this when you have issues. We had residents come in to talk about unsafe streets if they felt that they wanted a speed bump for more traffic control. Anything you need, we're the people that are going to handle that for you. And we've got great department heads that help facilitate that as well then too. And I want to thank them for what they're doing. Mike, real quick before we break up, I saw your guys out on 127th. Was that a landscape truck that flipped over on 127th today? I saw him picking up sod all over the street.
It was from an accident at 127th and Mason.
Is that what it was, 127th and Mason? I saw sod laying everywhere. I thought it was like a landscape truck that went crazy or something over there.
I think it was a car that went airborne.
Oh, really? Okay. And Chief Szynski, certainly a lot of work last Friday. What a mess. Unfortunately, I don't know, did that person survive that was hit by a car? No, I'm sorry to hear that. I was coming by right at the same time, and that was a big holdup last Friday. Unfortunately, it was pedestrian versus car, and all your teams did a great job. Mike, your guys too, but you guys came out with horses, and while we had an accident investigation taking place, but they had traffic staved off all the way back to 127th Street. And, of course, you know, people that know my direct number are like, hey, do you know 127th is closed? Yep, I know about it. Can't talk about that right now. Just, you know, do your best to get around. So, again, thank you for everybody coming up. Real quick, before we break up, I want to give everybody a certificate for participating tonight. Nora O'Shea. Nora? Nora, you going to be an engineer one day? They get paid really well, Nora, I'll tell you that. I sign checks all the time.
I told you.
I'll tell you, between the attorneys and engineers, those are important guys. You know, people, let's put it that way. Sophia, Mary Jimenez. There you go. That's you. Macy Balbon. Macy, thanks for doing this tonight. Ann Sheehan. Paula Vasquez. Paula. Amelia.
Oh, this is the other Amelia.
Oh, we got 2 Amelias?
Twice the class.
Wiley, thank you, sir. Okay. And Amelia Mastera. And Elizabeth, thank you. You guys did a great job. I'll tell you what, Ms. Kelly, you had a great idea. Instead of just doing individuals, you want to do one big group picture? Certainly, you guys want to help fill in? Hey, everybody get a little extra credit here. You got to take that back to school and stuff, right? And then, yeah, trustees will fill in behind them. Mr. Attorney, we can.
Oh, just for AP Gov. Hey, Ryan.
Oh,
But, hey,
How'd it go?
You're making it happen.
so
Oh, really?
everybody at the DS, you got one final task before we break up here. Mayor, you got to ask them. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
I make, oh.
Is there a second?
Second.
I second.
Favor.
There you go.
All in favor?
Everybody say aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
Very good. Okay.
We would all be here even if it wasn't due on Friday.
Very good. Thanks again, you guys. Have a great night.
Everybody else, don't worry about the signature. I have your picture. I want people to go home, so.
Thanks, Sophia.
Everyone who was in it, can you stay for a minute?
Thank you so much.
Nice young lady.
I already went to a board meeting.